We do not have overtime. We do not have draws. But besides that, we are playing a fully competitive match. It's the first to 7 to take the win.
Border overall, a pretty small map. It makes for very fast rotations, and that's probably what you're going to see a lot of. A lot of aggressive peaks. Should make for a good time, especially with all that smack talk on the line. This is for bragging rights right now, just to move on to see who can finally face off against the opponent waiting for them after this match. That will be the Army. Buck going to be banned out. Pretty unique ban on Border. We don't see too often. We actually saw, I believe, one yesterday on Border of Buck being removed. He usually gets removed because his skeleton key is just so damn good at breaking up flooring from underneath, which is required quite often on this map just because the Armory lockers is such a regular sight.
Got the final ban coming in now after Mir was the first defender ban. Clash will be the final defender ban, meaning that both Echo and Maestro will now be available for play, opening up some very annoying late round play for the defenders if they want to go for it. Apparently that was a target ban, according to their in-game chat as well.
Just ban all the shields. Just do that. Monty ban, Clash ban. We're just missing the Blitz. That's all we're missing. That's it. Unless you want to include Fuse, but no one never plays him because Fuse is irrelevant.
It's the last resort, you know?
You kind of feel bad for the Russians in this game because just all of them are not good. They're just
it's true, like every one of them right now is out of meta.
He nerfed Glass to the ground. It's just there's not a single one of them anymore. It is not too hot. So we are going to have a 6-pick off rep. Templar moving away from the smoke. 6-picking into the Jaeger. Much more needed operator, honestly, just because there is a lot of throwables on the offense. Plenty of stun grenades as well as frags that could definitely damage a lot of people.
And defuse bombs.
All right, guys, well, let's get into it. The first round has begun. It's going to be time to see here now what the Marines have to show us on the attack. They'll start out here. The Air Force will jump onto the defense.
Still cannot get over that name. I can't. I saw single dads load into the lobby, and I just...
What are we doing?
They're dancing with the drones. Okay. All right. So...
Also, we're in...
Yes, we are in customs.
We're in customs first round as well.
So there's that. Also, Day and Red Widow are having fun with Beezy, so that's a good time. The real question is Beezy still going to run out detention?
Wait. A 4-man run out. Oh boy, here we go.
Knife fight.
Wait, is it? Are we having a knife round to
player
start
model
this
is
out?
broken, but yeah.
What is going on?
Where's the nomad? Okay, so they're going to put a nomad in the center, folks. This is how you knife fight. Here we go. Starting us off is already 2 kills coming through. Jahui coming out on top, but it trades back and forth on both sides. Coming down to the 1 versus 1. And Red Hyperion with the ace to start us off.
And the best part is we get every kill on the camera for the ace as well after the round. Nicely done as the Marines claim round number 1 in one of the most interesting ways I've seen.
Well, as Thatcher said, a 6-inch blade never loses reception, so it's going to be an ace. Sadly, it wasn't the Thatcher, though. It's going to be the Ash. Ash doesn't have a hitbox, folks. Remember that. That's why he won.
That's very true. Didn't even think about that.
No hitbox, you can't stab her, dude. My job for all of this military branch battle is to get Blue to laugh as much as possible.
I'm still just surprised that happened more than anything. I was like, wait. It just kept getting crazier.
It was just an immediate thing.
I didn't see them talk about it in the chat or anything.
Oh, no, they were talking about it on the side.
Oh, were they? I missed it then. I was looking at the
There's going to be a knife fight in the valley.
I was looking at our other screen that doesn't have the chat on it, so I missed it.
All right, well, Air Force not starting off too hot as they get a knife ace by the offense. But they did get a couple of kills. Did come down to 1 versus 1. It would have been a team ace the other way, I believe. I think Beezy was the only one left alive.
Yeah, looks like it.
So, hey, it was close on both fronts.
Almost. So
like, guess a Marine are better with sharp objects, which is actually kind of scary if you really think about it. Especially with all that, trash talk about eating crayons. Do you really want to trust them with sharp objects? I don't think so. I got to get my shots in when I can.
All right, guys. Second round, I guess. First real round, maybe. Getting started here. The Marines do have the 1-0 advantage at the moment, and we're going to see if they can push it even further as they now get ready to attack the second floor for the first time here. Interestingly enough, the Air Force on defense here left the wall soft, the primary site wall. All three of the panels, I should say, actually, were left soft here. And quite a few of the members of the Air Force have poked a couple holes in it as well, so they do look like they might want to fight for control of West Balcony a bit more actively than you'd see your average team doing.
Looking at Day on the Zofia, it's going to be an office take here, so good call by the defense to reinforce the triple panel, because they're going to need hard destruction now instead of a sledge or Zofia breaking that open with her lifeline. Plenty of drones in play for the offense as things look actually pretty coordinated.
Pretty well put together right now for the Marines, still trying to get some balcony access though. And this is a good amount of time being wasted off the clock in the process. Down to 2 minutes already. Got Red Widow getting ready to potentially move in here through the windows and start pushing the site, but they've also got a couple walls that are not double reinforced, so it should be, pretty easy to find. Kodak, in the meanwhile, is going to be picked off by Day as he catches him through a soft wall. First big wall going to be opened up here now as well by the Marines to start giving them access to the office and hopefully allowing them to move forward.
Well, drones pour in. I believe there's one man. Yes, it's going to be Beezy inside of offices, currently playing inside of Suicide. Peeks out towards the breach, though. Swings wide and actually gets behind the half wall, behind the monitor, as you guys can see, working his way towards the main hallway. Oh, gets a couple of shots into Red Widow, who should now have the comms. Day rotates to the back to the top of East, excuse me. And he will be able to claim Beezy, so now they have office control. Just need to work their way in. Does still have to worry about one inside of Fountain. So we keep the Toby eye tracker up for you guys to get inside the mind of these military gamers. Plenty of presence now, but they have soft walls as Red Widow is actually going to go for an exothermic, which is kind of questionable because the wall is soft. Single dads, single taps through the soft wall that we were just discussing. Opens it up just a little bit more.
They waste so much time trying to get that wall open that they give Single Dads his own opportunity to pick up the kill, and they don't have that Zofia anymore as a result of that, so they might have to use that charge anyway at the end of the day. Red Hyperion going to end up grouping up with the rest of the team. Someone runs into a goo mine there. I believe it was the Thermite, but thankfully they've got a pretty safe position, so no harm, no foul. Red Widow is moving towards that wall once again. Corn of the Dog will find the trade, but Hui will also pick it back up for the Air Force, and it's looking like it might stay that way. However, just as I said that though, we're back into a 1v1. It's ACOG on ACOG to decide the round. However, the attacking team quickly running out of time as we get closer and closer to the end of it. The Air Force will take control at the end of the day as they tie it up at 1-1.
I don't even think that we should talk about the soft wall, you know, that poor guys, poor guys. Well, they had soft destruction, didn't use it, tried to use a exothermic charge instead because I'm going to assume that they really didn't even look at the wall. They just assumed that the reinforcements were there because they regularly are there.
Normally it is.
But they weren't reinforced. Those reinforcements were off in some other pastures. So instead of that, quick dispatch of Day, which was the Zofia, the only soft destruction that they had at the time. So they had to try and go about it another way, which didn't end up working out. Twitch down to the 1 versus 1. You thought they had it, the F2. Such a good weapon, but didn't work out for him in this instance. So 1-1 now after we already had a crazy knife fight and a nice defensive stand by the defense of the Air Force.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
So
attackers.
let's move into the next round here. After a good starting defense, after the chaos that was the first round anyway, after a good starting defense for the Air Force upstairs, they're now going to be able to move downstairs into the usual secondary site of ventilation here. We'll see how they decide to reinforce their play. We do have a Kapkan pick, which is not pretty, we don't get to see too often, so Templar is going to be jumping on that and giving us a treat for today. A couple of those EDDs going down primarily to stop the entrance here towards the visa offices, where it seems like Templar is going to be focusing 2 to 3 of those EDDs, and a lot more going over here towards the front entryway and the main stairs connecting points as well.
All right, well,
Attackers
still sticking onto the Kapkan. Something we don't see too often.
I was just talking about that.
Plenty of trap operators on the field. So, Legion as well, which is an operator that has invisible goo mines as opposed to what we were seeing earlier. Kodak, you gotta win those, my man, come on.
Knew his eyes were on it.
Yeah, we knew his eyes were on it, just, you know, that the hand couldn't make it happen. It happens sometimes.
Arn hand.
Happens to the best of us.
That's the good news, though. He can watch the footage back now, and because of this Toby eye tracker, he can blame his hands. He knows for a fact.
Well, doesn't have to blame his hands that time because he's going to rip Day's head off and then dumps right back into the eastern stairwell. Corner of the Dog, hot on his trail, but Kodak evacuates the area. He already got what he wanted, and that was an early kill. Marines now have to try and do something with the rest of the pieces that they have at their disposal. Do still have the two support players in the likes of Thatcher and Thermite, so they can still get a wall open with these two. Thermite specifically used on those hard reinforced walls, is where they put those big metal plates up on the wall. We call that hard walls as opposed to soft walls, like that soft flooring that we just saw broken by the sledgehammer. Those are walls that you can shoot through, as opposed to what is currently behind Red Hyperion that he just passed, which is a reinforced wall for those that are a little bit newer to the game. And those who are newer to the game should also know Red Hyperion is dead. He's been shot in the head by Single Dads.
Single Dads keeping things strong here for the Air Force on defense right now. Mednev just busted up the wall outside of CCTV, looking forward to move in just a second as well, and hopes to take some of that CCTV control, and then eventually what would normally be the armory site away. They do need to get the upstairs control due to the potential top-down play and the ease of access to the actual site that this will give them. It'll only be a one-for-one exchange though. Corn of the Dog and Kodak trade blows. Single Dads moves in for some of the cleanup here as he takes out one of the two players, trying to push into armory. Second one's giving him a bit of trouble though, so he's gonna have to fall back.
Single Dads with the pre-fire through the wall of Mini. Moves back towards box now, as it's going to be the last kill going to Kodak, and Air Force starting to warm up.
Air Force looking good here now. First two rounds going off without issue. Obviously, the round that they've lost being the fun that we had on round number one with the knife round, the run out from everybody. But since then, it's been all domination from the Air Force here on this defense. Clean sweep on the first two sites, but this third one is where it's going to get a bit more tricky. They'll have to move into customs. So these move out of the more meta sites and into the ones that are played a lot less commonly and a lot less in general, just due to the fact that we see a bit of trading happening between the defenders and the attackers in your average match.
Well, 6th pick coming in now as Red Hyperion shifts back over to the Nomad. I don't know if we're going to have as much fun as we did earlier with this air jab, but we might. Could have another knife fight, just because the Marines want to win another round. Could help them out. But jumping back down to customs as the site triangle is completed by the defense. And they don't want to go to tellers. Both of these sites not the best in the map, but you kind of have to pick your poison between the two. A lot of teams going towards customs just because the verticality is just a little bit easier to hold on to.
Just a few more seconds away here from the Marines being let out onto the field once again. The Air Force already set up and ready to defend it. Just a few more of those reinforcements going down. Beezy specifically putting up a couple of the walls over here.
10 seconds left before
We also setting up her yokai drones, I believe, across the map at the moment.
5 seconds to insertion.
There we go. There's the second one. First one, I believe, has already been set up in interrogations. The second one is going to be out here, just in the main lobby to watch. So maybe not, just to watch the crossroads here. They'd use a different position instead. So we'll see how those yokai drones pan out for her a little bit later on in the game.
Well, the beauty of it is there is no IQ on the Marines. No, that was not a joke, I promise you. But all those cameras should be able to stay up, as well as Kodak should be able to stay safe, just because nobody's going to be able to keep a beat on him with that ERC-7 backpack. He should have free reign unless somebody cuts off one of his rotations. Marines so far on the offensive look pretty lackluster when it comes to regular gameplay, along from that knife fight, but Days finally starting to warm things up. We did see that initial pick the last time from the roam game of Kodak, but it's going to be Beezy to fall. Kodak playing inside of box for CCTV. Going to try and maintain control. Red Hyperion near Beepers does have all of Armory lockers, but nobody else home. They have, actually funny enough, control across from where they spawned and not inside of CCTV, where Kodak is the lone soldier.
Kodak's stuck in this corner, waiting for something to roll his way. At the moment, Marines being a little bit passive, and there's good reason behind that too. They know that Air Force wants to hunt for kills as well, and they've just found one. After Marines get success on an entry, Single Dad strikes right back on the dock to bring it back down to a 3 versus 4. Air Force still behind at the moment, but remember, on defense here, they've got a bit more room to work with. Potentially get away with a bit against the Marines as well.
Sadly enough, it is going to be Mednev that dies from the Marines. He's the biggest amount of soft destruction that they have, and since they're trying to go for that vertical play now, definitely could have used him instead of having to do a lot of this work with breaching charges. Red Widow needs to move away from that breaching charge because they are dangerous. They do damage. If he stands on top of it, it'll more than likely kill him.
Jihui once again, just going to be moving in to potentially check out. Got to be careful, that top-down play. Holes in the sight. Going to cause problems here. We are coming down to the last minute of play as well. Red Hyperion still hunting for Jihui and some of the others that are hanging out here in the site for Air Force. Red Widow is going to be able to spot at least one hiding out near jail. Jihui, I believe, on the Echo getting spotted out. So they know that she's hiding out once again back over here in the interrogation corner. Whether someone can actually get that angle locked down, though, is still yet to be seen. Day finally ends up getting the better of Single Dads and is able to take him out. Still 2 more to find, and only 30 seconds to eliminate them.
Oh, a tight angle Templar takes with the cap can. That 9x19 not doing him any favors. A lot of hot marks coming out from Metal Hallway. Day with the pre-fire takes him down. It's all left up to Jihui. It's time for her to stand up. It's right now. Playing inside of stock. They know where she is now. Another pre-fire. She takes down one. Can she get the second? No, it's going to be plenty of damage. But Red Hyperion wins it out. She thought that it was not going to be a repeat, but Red Hyperion comes back for the fight and wins it out.
And so we are tied up. The Marines strike back and find themselves on even footing here as we head into the final couple rounds of the opening half. Remember, this is a fully competitive match, so you can expect it to play in similar fashion to the pro games, some of which we're going to have coming up right after our branch battle when the standard USN tournament resumes. We've got Armory Archives being unlocked for play once again here by the Air Force, so as you might expect, they are going to retreat back to that, as it is still a much easier site to play into comparatively to the one they just lost on.
So, Mednev 6 picking away from the sledges, which is that operator we saw die pretty early on in the last round, over to Capitao. Capitao, actually our only visually impaired operator in the inside of the entire game. Fun fact. He has an eye patch, and he's honestly got one of the coolest backstories as well, but he's pretty important when it comes to the game of Rainbow Six Siege because he's got some pretty crazy utility. He has a crossbow that has 2 fire bolts, yes, fire, that set things on fire, for a period of time, as well as 2 smoke bolts that cause a big smoke burst to where you can't see through it. So, those cannot be ADS by the likes of Jaeger. That's that operator that Kodak is playing who puts down those little ADSs that grab throwables and launchables in the air. He's the only man that is not countable by that. That's coming later on with Wamai, but that's for another day.
5 seconds to insertion.
We're going to see Wamai come into play for a few months still.
Very cool operator, by the way. Love his design.
Really interesting concept behind him, so it's going to be cool to see how he plays out once he's unlocked for play.
So I got an idea.
What's up?
Magnets. That's how I just feel how the conversations are with the Ubisoft office. It's like, look, I know that we need another person that's kind of like Jaeger. I got an idea.
Jaeger?
Magnets.
Magnets.
But magnets.
We've got the guys for the Marines starting to move inside a bit more here. A bit slow on the wind-up sometimes for these rounds, but there's good reason behind that caution, especially when you're playing against this site. And a pretty good idea for the Marines ultimately. Just got tripped up a little bit on the execute itself, so that's what they're being cautious of right now, I think. And it might explain why the Marines are taking a more split push to start off this round.
Kodak aggressive towards the break room door. There's one to his left-hand side, and he would be correct. Downs, and that's going to be Day. Huge entry fragger from last time, but a pre-fire all the way downtown from Red Hyperion. Gets the Jaeger. Kodak more than likely going to be dispatched quickly. They do have a dock, but they're going to burn a lot of utility as no drones have rolled in just yet. Jihui on the other end of the map takes down Red Widow as Kodak will actually be docked up. Oh no, he gets Mednev on the double kill. Some very supportive play from Air Force, never leaving a man behind.
The Air Force now just 2 more Marines to eliminate for this round, and they'll take the lead once again, along with a potential edge to be taken if they can close out the final round as well, since they'll be able to go back to ventilation after this 2. Final 2 on the Marines grouping up. Corner of the Dog is going to be able to find one of the still remaining Air Force members as Kodak is finally eliminated just inside of that southern door. Red Hyperion is able to get a second going for his team now. The numbers are slowly evening out, but mind you, the Marines still have a lot of work to do and not necessarily a whole lot of health to get it done with.
Oh, pre-fire Corn Dog coming very close to the Valkyrie, but to no avail. Still plenty of utility to try and get into sight, but no hard destruction as BZ rotates back into lockers from the lockers wall. Everyone, all hands on deck now. Single dads playing near mini as well as Jihui in deep archive. She could definitely be the pillar that they need to hold it down these long angles. Just with that Alda, she can stave off Eva for quite a while. That's going to be a double for her on the round. She's looking for 3. Corner of the Dog rotates into Fountain. She's on the prone angle, playing the bomb chassis. Can she win it out? She can! That's going to be a triple for her and a nice fist bump to go along with it.
Nicely done. Once again, the Air Force holds strong on those standard sites as they're going to be able to take a solid second story control for the second time that we've seen in this half. The final round of their defensive half, though, is coming up right here. So they will have ventilation unlocked for play. And as you might have expected, they're going to jump directly on that site to try and get themselves a 4-2 lead here.
All right, well, going into the split now. This will be our last round before we switch sides between these two. So the Marines have one more shot at tying things up. Or will the Air Force make the split 4-2, which is actually pretty commonplace for Border, but usually the other way. Usually the offense is pretty dominant on this map just because things are so set in stone. Red Hyperion 6-picking away from the Twitch that he was actually performing pretty damn well with over the last couple of rounds. Now on the Nomad.
And defuse as many bombs as they can.
All right. Like we said before, back down over here to Vents. We'll see what exactly the Air Force is going to try to utilize. We still got Templar on that Kapkan, sticking with it, seeing if he can trip anyone up. The Marines are well aware of it. We've already seen them taking note of it multiple times, and I don't think we've had anyone majorly get tripped up by an EDD just yet, but you really only need that one time to make it work and make it worth the price of admission, so to speak, here. And bringing the Kapkan into play may finally be worth it for you.
I don't think you need admission for this place. I think you need a passport because it is a border, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might need that.
It's a good point, actually.
Yeah, you got your passport check, you got your customs, there's an armory. I mean, like, typical border, I guess.
Maybe it's like the border to an amusement park.
You need helicopters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's...
Do not attempt to board.
So it's like... Okay, I'm taking this back too. We're going back on top of it.
You completely forgot about that, didn't you?
I wasn't even thinking about this. It's like it's playing right now as well. All right, guys. Well, it's looking like, unfortunately, this round is going to end up being canceled. So we are going to re-host it real quick. It looks like that came at the request of the Marine team, as far as I can tell. So give us just a moment here, folks, and we're going to restart that round as quickly as our admin team should allow it.
Well, apparently a little bit of monitor trouble out on the battlefield, so we'll get that handled very, very fast. If you guys didn't know, our admin are the fastest team in the West, since we are on the West Coast.
That is true. So we're working on just swapping that out real quick, folks, and figuring out what the issue is, and then we're going to jump back in game as soon as we have the issue resolved. So just stick with us here for a couple of seconds, and we're going to be getting it back into it. But the Air Force has the lead right now after their second runaround has just started, being able to win 2 out of 3 of the rounds, and 2 out of 3 of the sites, on their first runaround of defense, taking control of both Armory, along with winning the ventilation room, unfortunately failing towards interrogation, and as well dropping the interesting opening round that we had that was also on the interrogation site towards customs there.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to defend customs I've ever seen. Just go outside and have a
knife fight.
Yeah, that's the best way to handle it. It's the best way to handle it. Also, I love that the crowd was extremely excited for a monitor swap. I appreciate you guys for that. So that was good. That's some good stuff. And get the thunder sticks going. Got to warm up the arms for the rest of the competition, guys. Come on.
We're big fans of high refresh rates.
And make sure to do you guys' calisthenics and everything else. Got to warm up. We'll throw it over to the knife round. Why not? Let's show it one more time just to show you guys, if you are just joining us, exactly what happened, because this round was truly incredible. This is how you do it, folks. This is how you do it.
Let's watch this chaos unfold.
Make sure you keep an eye on Red Hyperion, because the guy goes absolutely insane. He's boxing absolutely everyone. He doesn't miss a single knife, folks. Not a single one.
Gotta respect the movement, you know? You see how he was like swerving into players?
Look at the moves.
Just trying to stay out of the POV of everybody.
Guys gotta
hiding behind them.
Guys got to be from the FGC, 100%.
That guy's a knife round aficionado.
I mean, we are in the fight dome, so I mean, like,
That's true.
Hey, maybe he just shows up here, boxes a little bit. Why not?
All right. Well, we do. Looks like we got everybody sitting down once again. So should hopefully only be a couple more moments, folks, before we jump back in game. It's looking like that issue has been resolved, so we're just waiting to restart the match itself, which I think that as well is only a couple seconds away. So this match is going to be resuming relatively shortly, and it's time to see, do we get that 3-3? Is Marines going to be able to win this next attack coming up here on more than likely what's going to be Ventilation again, or is the Air Force coming into dominating shape to round out their defensive half with a solid 4-2 lead? Let's find out as we're back in game.
These Marines have got to hate Templar. That's got to be the most annoying thing in the world, to just continuously have to deal with Kapkan. Like, he is not by any means a broken operator.
It's very tolerable.
Yeah, but you always forget at the last second to check a door when you go to swing for a gunfight, and then you get blown up for half your health. You're like, oh, well, this is fun.
That's exactly what Templar is hoping for, I think, is a couple of these players to just not be checking for it in a rush situation at the end of the round and maybe pick up a kill on that.
So I know you just started playing this game like last year, right?
Yeah, about the middle of last year.
Okay, yeah, so Kapkan, when the game first came out, he was actually the worst operator in the game, like worse than Tachanka.
That was because the
bolt went through the door frame, so you could see it on the other side.
Also, didn't the laser light used to be like way more visible?
No, it was absolutely visible, except to people that were colorblind. I feel bad for them because they get blown up, and they used to just instantly kill you. So, and I was a Kapkan main at the time. I was a silver boy. Heck yeah,
a couple of rough months for you then.
Yeah, hey, I got real good at the Kapkan. If you got pretty creative with those things and knew how to set them up properly, and just random doorways, you could get like one person around.
There you
You
go.
just had your free picks. You would end a game with like 6 kills just from traps.
That's me with goo mines.
That's why I hate you. Like,
You know how many assists I have on average in every game?
yes, I know, because we play. I hate Lesion so much. That operator's so stupid.
It's just free assists. I mean, why wouldn't you take it?
It's free real estate.
It's free real estate. All right, well, we've got the Marines getting ready to start moving forward once again. They've got a little bit of upstairs control on the outside. Haven't moved in to take actual map control just yet, though, but it is looking like they've got the right idea once again. A few players going to try and swarm in over towards Armory and take that control away. They know there's going to be some sort of a roving presence from the Air Force here, and they're right to assume that. We've got a couple players waiting in the wings. Jehui, though, is going to strike first as part of that squad upstairs to defend this. She's going to be able to find Day, knocking the sledge out of play, and again, removing self-destruction potential for the Marines very early on in the round.
Jehui's having a fantastic showing on these 3 armor ops. Those ACOGs definitely working out for her. Single dad with the Toby eye tracker gets obliterated from Korn. Just could not find the proper angle. Is tight into his left instead. Kodak on roam finds Red Hyperion though to try and bring us back to equal footing, but they're still going to need one to do so. So Air Force still ahead, and again with these long angles, Jehui with the double is down 1 as well, making it a triple for her on the round. She's having a field day. It's going to be all left up to Red Hyperion, who thinks he's got a beat on her. She doesn't have the drone though. The drone has been set up, so he can't have his fallen comrades watch those, but a quick shot. Can she get it? She can! That's a quad on the round for the Air Force.
A little bit of an assistance coming in there from Single Dads inside of the room itself, but all of the heavy lifting being done by Jehui in that round. A near flawless hold upstairs, and finally the half concludes.
So, Air Force, well in the lead after the defensive half here. Overall, a great defensive showing, especially by Jehui. Way to hold down that site, girl. Let me tell you. She's going to move on over to the IQ, as apparently she really has an attraction for those ACOGs, and why not? They help out a lot of people. We've seen actually quite a few people in the history of competitive Siege that you give them a 1x, they don't perform that well, you give them an ACOG, and they can make magic happen, and she's definitely making magic happen right now. Mednev switching things on over to the Lesion, which IQ will directly counter, so she can definitely help out her Air Force squad with that.
We didn't see much IQ usage, if I recall correctly, from the last attacking squad here on the Marines, so it's going to add a little bit more utility into the equation as well for these guys, hopefully, when the execute comes in.
God, the sheer amount of fragging power Air Forces bring is insane. Ash, IQ, Zofia, Twitch. I mean, which gun don't you want, you know?
The Gunner Squad.
It's the Gunner Squad, the Gunnerinis. Here we go. Should be a lot of fun. No more knife fights, apparently. It's all stale faces here. Everyone focused in. Marines bringing a little bit of a different lineup as opposed to what we saw in the Air Force. They're not going to be bringing the Maestro like we saw before. We did see the Echo the last round from Jihui, but she kind of rocked both operators on this site. They actually both ended up working out for her at some point. So we are going to have the Mozzie, though, which we did not see too much of by the Air Force.
So we've got Air Force moving up quickly towards south balcony doors. So again, the opener from them is going to be pretty much what you'd expect from the average team. Got a couple other players going to start messing around with first floor control too, trying to drone out specifically, get a bit more intel here. What exactly we're going to be looking at. Most of the focus once again is on that standard west balcony, south balcony push in order to just get upstairs control. There's not a whole lot of leveraging you can pull off by having downstairs control on this site, so usually there is roaming presence. It pulls itself back relatively quickly.
Kodak on the Ash, peering in from the south balcony. Pre-fires in through break room wall, but he's not going to find too much. Air Force methodical on their movements. He calculated as well. Reaching out security as well as break room. Already have control of that. It's a key piece to this site. Jihui knows that there's some pressure downstairs. She's trying to hold flank. Assuming that there's a rotate through into the ventilation room, but doesn't seem to be.
Jihui again, opening up some more of the windows here. Air Force definitely getting a good amount of control here, but Marines playing a very passive hold at the moment, so not necessarily having any of these fights being lined up in the way that they would have liked. Air Force is also, I believe, still hunting for one roamer downstairs while they're in the process of taking map control, so that may be slowing them down just a tad here as well. Kodak gonna move in, is able to catch out Red Widow, who had chucked out a smoke to try and block access, but only ended up giving himself away by throwing it there.
Time to ring some ears.
Well, rest of the squad is on site, all except for one. Day is downstairs. BC dispatches Med, and yet another Red Hyperion to fall as well. But it's going to be a trade out from Korn. A little bit too late, though, as both of his teammates have already died. Kodak gets aggressive. Korn of the dog bites the bullet. It's all left up to Day, who is underneath. Gets a Nitro Cell kill for good measure, though. Single dads to pick up the diffuser. Jihui now knows that Day is still downstairs, but rotating towards metal stairs. Day will take down Jihui. Kodak upstairs as well, waiting for the rotation. Claim already set up on metal, so it's more than likely going to be a free rotation for Day all the way to east. But Day hasn't even moved yet, as Kodak makes quick work of Day. And that's going to be it for round 7.
The Air Force continuing to dominate as they switch over to the attacking side now with a 5th round going into their control. Just a few more away now from being able to earn their spot in the finals coming up after this against the Army.
Overall, great showing by both of these teams in certain instances. We had some good stands by the Marines. Their defense hasn't been the best just yet, but they're still able of making those trades and keeping things close. The Air Force, on the other hand, has been a pretty dominant force on both ends of the spectrum. Their defense in particular just seemed to have that backbone that once those roamers did die, they didn't have too much to worry about. Jihui once again 6-picking, and she's going to go away from the Jackal back to what she played the first time, the IQ.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
Bring that back into the play now. Marines will stick with this site, trying to win out the upstairs site yet again. Coming close, they're definitely doing a good job at leveling down the timer and, more importantly, wasting the Air Force's time beyond the roaming or just trying to keep them out of the sight. But unfortunately, when push came to shove, the Air Force was able to work their way in and get that control. So, gonna have the same thing being attempted yet again. Let's see if the Marines can pick it up a bit here.
10 seconds.
Hopefully so. I mean, worst case scenario, stack up and just start going for kills, you know? Why not? You're on stage, you only have one shot, one opportunity to try and prove something.
Bring a little bit of flash, right?
Yeah, I mean,
try something.
The Air Force said that you ate crayons. Are you going to take that? I don't think so. Also, they all taste the same because they're all made out of the same stuff. They're just different colors.
No, the colors taste different.
Stop. Stop it.
That's how that works, right?
These aren't Starbursts.
Yeah, but they're different colors, though. That has to mean they taste different.
What if the smelly markers taste different?
They smell different.
They do smell different, but do they taste different?
Scanning for electronic devices.
I guess you'll have to try that to find out.
I'm not gonna try it to find out.
And you guys shouldn't either.
Do not attempt this at home. Do not attempt this. Anyways, Kodak bearing in towards metal. Plenty of barbed wire in his way. There's actually a rotation made for him. He's just going to bag corn right off rip. He's inside the site. He's inside their kitchen, eating all the snacks. Red Widow to go down. Has one inside of Mini as well, but he's not wary of Day, who rotates in through Fountain to shut him down quickly. But now before he bags too, Single Dad's getting aggressive as well, as it appears to be Air Force that's going for the aggressive takes here instead of the Marines.
Got BZ still hunting down one of his targets from the Marines right out in the hallway. He came so close to having the angle and might still get it in a second, but no, Guman gonna trip him up instead. Thankfully, Jihui is here to cover for her teammate.
Oh, okay, Day.
We're gonna see Day move in there. He gets dropped as Jihui saves her teammate's life once again. Should be able to get the revive off onto the Zofia here after a bit of delay, of course, just making sure no one else is gonna attempt to go for the trades once again.
Jihui's the best player in the lobby. I mean, she's just fragging out on everything. Saving lives, saving sites, stopping diffuse plants. She's doing it all. What else could you possibly want from a teammate?
And pivotal to that hallway hold right here. If she ends up going down there, it's not just her dead, it's BZ that goes down too, and that's pretty much the end of the round at that point. I guess we could have seen a clutch.
Still plenty of time on the clock as you guys see the redrone come in, so the Air Force a lot more coordinated than you guys think, doing the regular steps to make sure that they know where the last two remaining members of the Marines are. But do they know that someone's deep archives? They do.
Jihui with
Red Hot Period is dead.
It's fully outside for that too, rotated all the way over to window to get the better angle, so good communication also coming out here from the Air Force too.
Oh my God.
And Jihui with one more for us. I believe that's 3 or 4 on the round total. Beautiful play once again.
I believe that's another 4K. Can we get, once we get back into game, can we get a scoreboard check real quick? Because I'm pretty sure Jihui's just running a clinic right now, to be completely honest with you. This has been such an impressive showing by her. Can we see the scoreboard real quick?
If not, I'm sure we'll check it out once we get back in game in a second here.
We'll probably check it out here in just a second. But Jihui going back to the IQ, and she's been making quick work of everybody with it, so why the hell not? Actually, no. We're going to go to the Finca. Uh-oh. Could this be an LMG play? I'm down with it. I'm completely down with having some having some LMG play here. Excuse me, pardon my French. So if you guys don't know, if she does stick the Finca, we'll walk down this list real quick. But we actually have a couple of new operators to the list. And for everybody watching, whether it be their significant other, friends, or whatever at home, we'll walk you through these operators real quick just so you know a little bit more about the game. So we'll start our list off with Dokkaebi, which is the operator with the funny looking little emoji thing on the blue bar. And it's getting ran by... believe it's BZ, yes. So there's the scoreboard. We actually have Jihui at 6-1 as well as Kodak at 6-1. So those two just literally holding a duffel bag with their other 3 teammates in it.
Yeah.
But Dokkaebi has logic bombs, which is a phone call that goes to the phone that you see the defense hop on when they look at cameras. And it vibrates the phone, and it's very audible to the offense. So they use that as a sound cue to know where people are. Very useful operator in that regard.
Part for those stats, of course, guys. Due to the rehost, we don't have the full stats right now, so we are missing a couple of rounds from that score that we just took a look at.
I think she's plus 10 at this point, to be completely honest with you.
She had that one, there was the 3 or 4K hold she had upstairs a couple rounds back as well.
Oh no, Day. Can't throw him out the window until the round starts, my man.
So that one's lost.
What? Oh my God. Are they going all DMR? BZ, is that ACOG? Oh no.
It's open.
Oh, no.
Oh, they're full sending it, and they don't have a clue. Marines don't know what's about to hit them. Kodak making the run-in with the first 2, possibly 3 kills, never mind. Red Widow denies it. Single Daz with a strike back as well, as the Air Force is maintaining, but the Marines are fighting back. They've only got 1 player left alive, though. The Marines have Red Widow still standing up, but at the same time, he just got it down. So now we're into a 1v1, but the Air Force will win it at the end of the day, as they take control on a rush play and shut down the match as well.
Oh, and that's going to be GG going the Air Force's way. What a great showing from everyone, and particularly Jihui. Hopefully, I thought there for just a second they were going to get some Boss G ACOG gameplay. Bikini would have been so very happy about that, but we're not going to get it.
Not this time, folks, but we'll see what the future holds. Either way, a great performance coming up from the Air Force roster. They're going to be moving on to the final match coming up after this against the Army.
Well, The Marines might want to get better at sitting in chairs. That's all I'm going to say, because the Air Force definitely showed them that they're the best ones when it comes to technology.
And indeed, they will take that victory. Moving on, some great performances coming out in that matchup from players like Jehui, with great holds on the defensive side, and even better, really smart attacking plays when it came to those upstairs approaches as well. Good utility usage, for instance, great droning, a lot of positive things to say at the moment about this Air Force team, and that's gonna make our final match really good, because a lot of those we also said about the Air Force team. That's gonna do it for us for now, though, folks. We'll send it down to Jackie one more time to get us ready for that final match and talk to our winners.
Thanks, guys. That knife fight, though. So you guys had some strong trash talk. You followed through. You're facing the Army again. What's going through your head?
Last year, we weren't expecting much, but this year, we're going to take them down.
Okay, confident. So any strategies that you guys are going to put into place?
Well, Demand made the mistake of showing me his little binder before the match, so...
No, he didn't.
He did. There wasn't anything too classified in there, but we know which way they're coming from now.
Oh, I cannot wait. Also, you going to be bringing any props out for the next trash talk sesh?
Nah, I didn't bring any, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see what you got to say. Great job. We'll see how you guys do in the finals. All right, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
And just like that, the Air Force